Hello, my name is Tarmi Jacobs. I am a robotic process automation developer living here in the Netherlands, and I'm originally from Cape Town, South Africa. I work for a pretty cool company called Incentro, where I am a RPA consultant to a different client. I build custom robotic process automation solutions in order to save businesses time and money. I would say the initial spark had to have been my father. At the age of 3, he decided it was a great idea to give me a computer. At 1 day old, I already had an email address. So I felt like I was already kind of being pushed into that field of computers. So being at the age of 3, I'm 27 now, so I've had a computer for the last 24 years. And when I originally finished high school, I first was planning to become a lawyer because I love to argue, I love to talk, and I thought that was where my career and my life was busy taking me. But just when I was about to start my course, they actually decided to remove the course. They weren't going to do law anymore. And the university asked me, okay, well, did you have a backup plan? And I was like, IT, I guess. Like, I've always liked computers, I guess that will work. And my life completely changed. IT is now not a very big, this is a man's world. There's not a lot of women in IT. In my class, there was only about 3 of us, and it was hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It was hard. A science subject is a hard subject, but should you just persevere and get through it, oh my goodness, the doors and the world that it opens. There's so much in IT that you can do when it comes to computing, when it comes to networking, when it comes to development. There's really so many cool things that you're able to do. And where I started my career off, I started more in the account management, project coordination role, where I kind of managed other developers, but I realized that's not where my passion lies. That's not what is exciting me, and that's not what's also challenging my brain. And I decided that I needed to make a swap. So I got an internship. During my internship, I was then exposed to a platform called Blue Prism. Blue Prism is actually the automation technology that coined the term RPA, robotic process automation. And from there, I did this internship, and during this internship, I was then contracted to South Africa's largest insurance company, where I then was exposed to UiPath, and I started working in UiPath, and as I say, the rest is history. Now I'm here. So IT is considered to be a man's world. So from maybe it's changing over time, but when I was in university, it felt as if women in IT weren't taken seriously. They're like, oh, you guys, girls are here to either maybe find yourself a husband, or you're like, oh, do you like to play Sims on the computer? I love to play The Sims, that's besides the point. But I felt like I was just not being taken seriously in IT until I started proving myself. And that's where the first challenge you can overcome. If someone tells you no, or someone is underestimating you, to hell what they think. Then you know what you're here for, you know what your reasons are for, and you know the drive and the power that you have inside of you in order to succeed. So if someone is looking down at you, use that as a fuel to fire yourself up, like, oh, you've told me no, now I'm really gonna show you that I can do this. When I started IT, I didn't really know a lot of women in the field. I know that pretty much one of the first computers and the internet was created by a woman, which is really, really cool. But there isn't a lot of big names for women in the field. But a woman who actually did really end up inspiring me was one of my lecturers. In my first year of university, I really considered actually dropping out due to the pressures, due to not sure if this is where I was wanting my life to go. And I had so many questions, and I just really got really down and in my head about it. And I remember I just sent my lecturer, who was a woman, I sent her an email and I said, is hard work enough? Because I felt like I was in the position where, especially when it came to programming and coding, I felt like the other guys in the class, they already had this sort of idea about how to program. They did IT in school. I never had IT as a subject in my school. So they already learned the basics of programming, and then they came into the course and they're already able to do a print line, hello world, and all of that. And whereas with me, I had to learn all of that from the beginning. And that was very, very hard for me. And I felt like, do you need to be a natural, or if you're able to learn and you really dedicate yourself, would that be enough? And that's pretty much what I asked in this email, is that, do I need to already know what I'm doing, or is my hard work enough? And she said, your hard work is more than enough. Your hard work is going to be the thing that's going to put you out from the rest of the group, and the thing that is going to push you forward. And I really want to use that and encourage that, because this is an expanding world. This is a growing world of IT and opportunities. When I got hired at my job originally, I work in a very big team of men. I have 2 other women in my team, but otherwise it's very big guys. But I think that IT is starting to shift, and they're realizing the impact that women can bring into the field. So when I was doing interviewing for the role that I'm doing, they actually specifically asked, can we please have a woman? We have enough men. We would like a woman developer, because I just feel like we just bring a fresh perspective and fresh ideas and just things that, the attention to detail that maybe a man in that situation would not have thought about. So there's things that make us unique, and there's things that make us so powerful, and we need to bring that into the workspace. Don't see it as being emotional or being softer. That is such a powerful thing that you can actually use if you just manipulate it correctly. Well, the thing is that, first of all, diversity is good. If you are going to have just a whole bunch of one set group of people, one set of ethnic group of people working in one space, sure, maybe they'll get the work done, but where is the passion? Where is the creativity? Where is the learning from experiences and learning from each other going to come from? Because one person may think of something that the rest of the group did not think of, based on his background and based on his childhood and based from the life experiences that they had. So I personally feel like I was not hired as a diversity quota. I was hired as a person. I was going to be able to bring fresh perspective into the role. Because also what they could have done was, if they wanted to hire a woman, why did they not then hire someone already living here in the Netherlands? They hired a woman from South Africa because they wanted my perspective, not only as a woman, but also as a foreigner. There is 2 separate things that I'm able to bring forth to the table. So I'm not just a diversity hire. I bring value to whatever team that I'm in. What I especially love about IT more specifically is how broad it can be. I've spoken to so many people now over my years of working, and my different colleagues that I've spoken to, and no one, especially people now actually doing RPA, no one started off your career doing RPA. Everyone either was in more of a front-end space, or they were in a back-end space, or they were working with databases, or they were busy coding apps or stuff. That's the beauty of IT, is that if you get bored, you can pivot and you can change something, and you are able to certify yourself, find a technology stack that you like, certify yourself, get a little bit of experience, and then just start working, start building. And what's also really, really cool about IT is the type of personal projects that you're able to make for yourself. So I know with RPA more specifically, I have a coworker back in South Africa who's actually created himself a Forex robot that literally sits, monitors all of the, so I'm gonna butcher it if you're gonna ask me the more specifics about stock trading and all of that. But he literally built a robot that sits on the website, monitors all of the trends and everything, reports the information back to him so that he knows when's the best time to invest and when not. That's absolutely crazy that humans are able to do stuff like that. So that is, I think, the beauty in IT, is that not every single day is the same. Every single day is going to be something brand new, a brand new challenge, a brand new way that you can inspire yourself and then also challenge yourself. Because if we just sit in a world where we're not challenging our brains, then you're going to become depressed. You're going to become bored. And IT is definitely the job if you do not want to be bored, because you will never be bored. I don't think so, because with obviously all the different specific countries have their own specific law groups. So the law that I would have learned in South Africa could potentially only been applied to South Africa, whereas these STEM subjects, the science, the technology, the economics, the mathematics, they really are able to open doors. So that's always one thing that I'd really, really encourage the next generation of women, of people, is be selective on what you're deciding to study, because you can go after your passions and do what makes you happy. And as the saying goes, do what you love and you never work a day in your life. And that's pretty much how I feel. I feel like I don't work anymore because I'm always excited about waking up and getting to do something new. But look, where can this pivot me further? What doors are these going to open for me? What doors is this going to close for me? And these are the type of questions you need to be asking yourself, because if this is something that you would want, the Netherlands, and moving from South Africa, moving overseas, having that Europe job, earning euros, living in a different country, having different experiences, it is so possible. It is absolutely so possible, but you just need to work hard and you need to make the right decisions in order to come here. So I would say my two biggest supporters would probably be my fiance, who moved to the Netherlands with me, and would also be my mom, who I sadly had to leave back at home. So my fiance, Skylar, he's an incredible human being. He is a front-end developer himself, so also we're kind of in the same line of jobs, so that's something that we were initially able to connect quite well on. And also, he just inspires me. The type of work that he does, he's also in his space. He actually started his work this week. He was working for a South African company the whole time, and I officially got his first Euro job here, and he's absolutely loving it, and he's crushing it, and the work that he's doing is so meaningful to him. And just without him, maybe I wouldn't have been here, because I think it's a very daunting experience moving overseas and moving by yourself. So I feel very fortunate in that position that he was like, I'm along for the ride. Where you're going, I'm going. So I was very happy to bring him with me. And probably, if not him, my biggest support structure in life, that's my mom. And that's just been for everything. And I feel like for a lot of other women, it is also your mother. There's just this beautiful relationship that exists from woman to woman, and just that type of encouragement that you can get from a woman is quite different that you get from a man. As I mentioned earlier, that is why when I was considered first dropping out of university, I emailed my female lecturer, because I knew that women, we're seen as more emotional, and that's seen as a bad thing. But it's such a powerful thing, actually. It's such a strength to be able to connect with someone emotionally like that and see like, hey, I see you're not really doing well. Can we talk about it? Do you just need a hug? Do you just need a friend? Do you just need someone to listen to, or some just piece of advice? And that person has always just, in my corner, has been my mom. She's always just strived me to do the best that I possibly can. She's always just encouraged me to do the best I can, because she knows what value I have. She saw it before anyone else ever did, and she always tried to encourage that value. And it's like, work hard, go for your dreams, reach for the stars, because nothing, like what you set your mind to, you will be able to do. If you know my mom, she's run the Comrades twice. She is an incredibly powerful woman that if she puts her head to something, she does it. So she just inspired me to do the exact same. I definitely would say so. And what I also am very appreciative about my father is when he got me the computer, now he would give me computer games, and he would give me a game, and then I'm like, okay, Dad, how do I play this game? I'm like, I don't know, figure it out. And then he kept doing that, and it frustrated me so much. I'm like, Dad, I don't know how to play this game. What am I supposed to do? But now looking back at it, I realize he did that on purpose, because he forced me to figure it out. Because that's pretty much in life what you have to do. As soon as you become an adult, you can't just run to mom and dad for everything. You have to figure it out yourself. So from a young age, he already started encouraging me and pushing in the direction of, you don't know how to do something? Figure it out. But I also feel quite lucky in the regard that my father, he also studied IT, and he is also involved in the IT space. So when I was in university and I had some programming questions, I luckily had an IT programmer in the house that I was able to turn to. I think, well, first of all, showing them a video like this is a great idea. Showing them something like, hey, I'm a woman, I grew up in South Africa. I went through the challenges that maybe you're struggling with right now, and I was able to make it through out on the other side. So it's all about, I think, inspiring each other, and also I think it's exposure, because I think, especially sadly, South Africa, we have a lot of disadvantaged communities. So, and a lot of girls don't have access to proper education, to technology, to all of these things. So first, I would say we need to put an effort into exposure. We need to then put an effort into encouragement. So it's kind of like, let the little girls play with like the dolls and the princesses and the makeup, but kind of like then get them a little science kit as well. It's like the little things that you can kind of start doing to kind of encourage and foster that, I would say, the spirit of curiosity, because that's exactly what my father did with me. He fostered the spirit of curiosity by getting me a computer at a very young age, getting me the games, like kind of forcing me to figure things out, becoming more self-sufficient. So I think if we start encouraging girls to also be curious about things, then we're going to start seeing the impact later on. Also, we need to give women the same opportunities that we are giving men, because I feel like this is very much a man's world, but because we have the guys around, I feel like more focus are kind of put on them to be the big smart brainiacs. But like I said, the computer and the internet was created by a woman. So we have a lot of strong, capable, powerful women of doing it. You just need to unlock their potential and shape them in the right direction. And that already starts at home, that starts at school. Because if you start encouraging them already from a young age, then that's going to push them further on. For example, my parents always told my younger sister and myself, when you guys finish school, you're going to university. You're going to go study something. It's like no ifs or buts about it. There's no gap year, there's no nothing. We were in a very fortunate position that I don't think, sadly, a lot of South Africans have, but I'm very, very grateful that my parents worked really hard from pretty much the day I was born until the end of my matric year, worked extra jobs so that they would be able to afford to send me to university. But that encouragement I always felt like I needed to prove something, because they worked so hard. I saw my own mom working so hard that encouraged me, okay, if they are working so hard, I now need to work hard. Because there's a lot of encouraging that you can do, there's a lot of exposure that you can do, but as women, you need to also take responsibility for yourself and be like, if this is something that I want, then I need to do it. Then I need to learn it. Then I need to put the time into it, because skill set is not just, also with all of the men who are doctors and astronauts and things like that, they had to learn how to do that. They weren't just an astronaut the day they woke up. There was a lot of hard work over a very long time. So I encourage foster creativity, foster curiosity, but then also foster hard-working ethics, because you will not get anywhere in life should you not work hard. That is the way to succeed. It's not some silver spoon in the mouth. It's not some golden ticket. It is hard work. I think the first piece of advice that I would give is throw out the stereotypes. That's the first thing that is, I think, hurting us as a society. Definitely there is some stereotypes that are true. So stereotypes do exist for a reason, but the whole stereotype of like the woman should be the homemaker and she should be cleaning the house and she should be feeding the children, and the man is the one who's going off to work and going out to war and everything and comes back and provides the family. That was the nuclear family in the 80s or the 70s or whatever. It's time to throw out that stereotype, because I feel like it's only going to be more harmful than anything else. And I'm talking out of an experience. I worked for a previous company where I was still quite young in the company, but I was bringing value, I was working hard, I was doing my best. But because I was a woman, I was expected, I wasn't being paid extra for this, but I was expected afterwards to clean the office. I was expected to go pick up all of the cups from all of the guys' desks and go put it in the dishwasher. They didn't have to do it, but I was expected to do that. And I think that was become from the stereotype of me being a woman. So that's where I'm saying throw out the stereotypes, because I feel like they're going to be more harmful than anything else. Definitely use what we have and encourage it. So with women, with men being like stubborn and hardworking, encourage that. And for women, maybe being a little bit softer and emotional, encourage that, but also put everyone on a level playing field, that we all have equal opportunities and we all deserve the right to work just as hard. We can all do the same job. But if we keep the stereotypes of like, oh, but you don't want to get your hands dirty, and oh, this might be a little bit too hard for your little girly brain. It's like almost like some women, I feel like sometimes some people want to like coddle women and it's like protect us, and it's like this innocent little flower, which we are, and which we do deserve all of that, and we should be treated like the queens that we are. But at the same time, we are just as capable as our male counterparts. So throw out the stereotypes. I can be in a meeting, and if something happens and I'm going to start crying in that meeting, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm emotional. Clearly, then something happened that affected my emotions in some sort of way. And clearly, this really upset me. So I'm crying about it. I'm getting emotional. So clearly, I feel really strongly about this. So I'm going to go with the thing that I really feel strongly about, instead of just bottling those feelings inside, because I think that's a whole entire separate epidemic to the whole entire country. And I think with men specifically, as the men are told that they can't express their feelings, that they have to just shove it in. And it does so much more damage later on in life, because then it comes out in either an explosive way, or their mental health really starts to struggle. And I feel like women also mental health, they also start to struggle, but with some things, because we're so in touch with our emotions, we're able to release it. And men in that sense aren't. So I would highly encourage men to be emotional and release those feelings. So again, throw out the stereotypes. Women can be badasses and men can be emotional. It's okay. Really happy that you asked that question. So in 2014, please don't fact check me, I might be completely wrong about this date, but round about then, my mother and I started a project called Bless My Bag, where we collect secondhand handbags donated by other women, and we fill up those handbags with 5 items that we believe that should be in every single woman's handbag. Those 5 items are a packet of tissues, hand sanitizer, lip ice, sanitary pads, and deodorant. And we collect, so these handbags are first of all donated to us by other women, which is, I think, a beautiful thing of like, when we are able to give this bag to a vulnerable woman, then we can be like, there was another woman who was thinking about you specifically when she donated her bag. So first of all, we don't accept any handbags in any bad condition, because how are you going to restore dignity and value to another woman if you're going to give me a bag that's busy falling apart? So if your bag is in bad shape, rather throw it away. I don't want it. I'm going to throw it away if you give it to me like that. And then what makes Bless My Bag special and more unique maybe than other projects that kind of exist like us is that we're not just going to go out onto the street, see a random woman sitting on the side of the street, shove a handbag in her face, take a picture of her, put it on social media, and then that's it. We don't believe in that, because we don't think you're going to restore dignity and value like that. So we connect with existing organizations that already work with vulnerable women. So this would be, say, a halfway house, or a place that you can go for, say, teenage mothers, for places for women who just got out of prison, for women who are in domestic abuse situations, so that we're able to go to the organization, we're able to connect with them. We tend to have an outreach day where we meet with the women ourselves, we hand over the handbags, we talk to them, we get to know them, and then we stay in contact with the organization, so that there should be more support needed, or if they wanted to have another drive, or if one of the women wanted to reach out to talk to us, then they can, so that we are able to foster that collaboration and that spirit of unity and everything. So projects about women and encouraging women and bringing women together really, really, really is important to me. And if you wanted to check us out, we are on Facebook at Bless My Bag, and we also do have a website, blessmybag.org.za. Should you want to get involved or donate or anything, we'd always appreciate extra help. You are never out of time. And should you decide, I want to pivot, I want to change my life, I want to do something different, then go do it. Because that's exactly what I did. I thought I was going to go into law. I was creating my life and my round about going into that one direction, and I didn't. I went into IT instead. Then I thought, okay, but now I'm going into this direction of I'm going to be an account manager, I'm going to be a project coordinator, I'm going to be managing teams and stuff. And I was like, no, but that doesn't make me happy. I'm going to go somewhere else. And then I went into, now I found myself into the coding space and the automation space, and that's really exciting to me, and that I really enjoy. But that was the beauty of my career and of IT specifically, is that you're able to pivot and you're able to find something. So I would highly encourage the next group of women to find your niche, find the thing that gets you excited. And even if it's something that you know absolutely nothing about, you can learn. There's literally, today's the first day to learn something brand new. And then I would encourage, then find a mentor or find someone that you can then learn from. I had a mentor back at the previous company that I worked for. His name is Shoal. Shoal, if you're watching this, big shout out to you. He's incredible. He really taught me everything I knew. He encouraged me, and he just showed me so much about IT and about automation that I never even thought about. So I would really recommend, is like, if you're a girl and say now you're a young girl and now you really want to get into a specific technology stack, so there's a specific job that you want to do, I would say go on LinkedIn. Maybe find another woman who is already busy doing the job that you want to do. Go send her a message and be like, hey, my name's so-and-so. I'm really interested in one day doing what you're doing. Could you maybe point me in the right direction? Could you maybe give me some advice? And I probably 9 out of 10 times, if I should receive a message like that, I will immediately going to give help to that woman. So if it is something that you want to do, you just need to go do it, because it's not going to be handed over to you. I think that's the thing, is that sometimes we get a little bit lazy, we get a little bit complacent, and we just kind of expect life to just happen to us. But if you really, really, really want something, then you need to go out and get it.